roughly 1.5 million households say they could very likely be evicted from their rentals in the next 2 months.
Well, officials say a total now of 4 officers who were involved in the Capitol riots have taken their own lives. It was a third police officer who responded to the attack who died by suicide. Apparently he was found dead in his home. His name was Gunther Hashida. And they say that he was assigned to the emergency response team with the Special Ops Division. And he died 2 days after the committee who was looking into the attack on January 6th held its first hearing. And a lot of those officers, we heard testify about the trauma that they went through that day.
Yeah, and they also announced that another D.C. police officer who was involved on that day killed himself earlier in July. I looked at some quick DOJ investigations and other studies over police suicides generally to see if they're higher than the national norm, if they're going up. The latest is information from 2020, so it's before the January 6th event, but yeah, there were like 228 suicides. There's a study saying that police suicide rate is 4 times that of firefighters, that it could be higher than the national average, but that police officers tend to be in that age group where suicide is already high, and they haven't been able to connect the dots clearly yet, and certainly it's been a tough year over the last year in many cases to be a police officer, but that is just so sad. I just thought, 4? I mean, it really is.
Okay, don't start the next story.
Warning. Olympics. Spoiler alert.
Just in case somebody's under a rock.
Right. We're going to mention what happened with Simone Biles and the balance beam. We are going to mention what happened with Simone Biles and the balance beam. We are going to mention what happened with Simone Biles and the balance beam. Turn your radio down for the next 30 seconds. She won the bronze in the balance beam final. The reason why she probably didn't get gold or silver is that she did a slightly safer dismount. It was a double pike dismount instead of a full twisting double back. But she did it. She overcame the twisties. She went back out there on the stage with the entire world looking at her. And she won the bronze. The Chinese won the gold and silver. Wang Qinshen got the gold and Tang Zhijing got the silver. So good. She's back. She did it. She's now got, I think it's her 7th medal? Yes, her 7th career medal, tying Shannon Miller for the most by an American in gymnastics. But boy, what an obstacle to overcome.
And I bet this is it.
Oh, yeah. Well, she only came back because she wanted to raise awareness for what Larry Nassar and everything that happened to her generation in the sport so that this next generation doesn't forget it. And what I think personally, she saved lives with her courage, her courageous walking away from something potentially dangerous last week. I think that the not only being the greatest of all time in gymnastics, but to say to the entire world, my head's not in the right place, and I need to take a step back, despite all the pressure. I just think that act will do more than anything else in her life, in my opinion. We got one more, Jen.
Dwight?
Yeah?
Come on back, Dwight Howard. Third time around, maybe third time's the charm. Well, he won the title with the Lakers in 2020, and then he said, see you later, went to the 76ers, and now Dwight Howard will be back for a third time with the Lakers.
Yes, he is the first player to be on the same team 3 times and be named an All-Star each time. And on his Instagram, he says, let's run it back, showing the trophy. Quote, I want my parade, damn it.
Good for him.
Because he didn't get it. Okay, when we come back, we are going to talk about inflation, pricing, what's happening to your pocketbook, and take a look at the markets, and a bunch of other stuff. Jane Wells filling in for Bill Handel, KFI AM 640.
Perfect for achy, indecisive minds. KFI's cooling Info Gel quickly relieves ignorance and leaves a minty fresh scent.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
It's hot out there. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Heat advisories and extreme heat warnings will stay in place in SoCal through midweek at least. The National Weather Service says there'll be triple-digit temps in some places today. Meteorologist Adam Roser says that's 10 to 15 degrees above average.
Of course, summertime in Southern California, a hot time of year, obviously. These temperatures are, much above to normal from where they should be this time of year.
Roser says the high-pressure system centered over Arizona will bring a drier air mass and a warming trend for most areas of Southern California. Health authorities say the number of people in LA County going to the hospital with COVID-19 has nearly quadrupled in the last month. The Department of Public Health says data out yesterday showed there are 1,096 people in the hospital with COVID compared to 280 on July 2nd. Public Health Director Barbara Ferrer says 99.8% of people who have died from the virus were unvaccinated or only partially vaccinated. Homeless people who have been living near the San Gabriel River in Azusa have been told they have to leave. It's understood the deadline to move out is this morning. They've been camped along a hiking trail in Lario Park, which is just off the 210, but as of this morning, no one is allowed to be camped inside the park. Law enforcement is expected to clear the camps. Kristen Smart's mother was the first witness in a preliminary hearing to decide whether the case against Smart's accused killer should go to trial.
Paul Flores is accused of murdering Smart during a rape in 1996 after the two left a party near the campus of Cal Poly. The two of them were students. The hearing yesterday in San Luis Obispo began with Denise Smart's emotional testimony. She spoke about the close relationship she had with Kristen. Flores' attorney laid out the theory that Kristen may still be alive and had been a struggling college student who applied for modeling jobs in Thailand. Flores was arrested in April in San Pedro. His father, Ruben Flores, was also arrested. He was charged with hiding Kristen's body. Steve Gregory, Kfi News.
A third judge will try and decide if prosecutors can dismiss rape charges against a surgeon from Newport Beach and his girlfriend. Grant Robichaux and Sarissa Riley were accused in 2018 of drugging and raping several women. Judge Stephen Bromberg recused himself late Friday amid concerns of bias, even though the judge denied the claims. County and state prosecutors have tried to dismiss most of the charges, claiming a lack of evidence. Crews are lining up 14 million pounds of concrete block in downtown Long Beach to keep 150 Grand Prix race cars on the track.
We're going to build a city within a city.
Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach Association President Jim McKellion says 2,000 concrete blocks, 4 miles of fence, and 17,000 tires will be bolted together for safety.
The Indy cars are the headliner, and those cars will probably achieve a top speed somewhere in the area of about 185 miles an hour when they go down Shoreline Drive.
He says 14 grandstands, 6 pedestrian bridges, 8 giant vision boards, a couple dozen restaurants, and a huge expo will all be inside the 11-turn circuit. The 3-day event starts September 24th in Long Beach. Corbin Carson, KFI News.
Thousands of people have been stranded at airports around the U.S. because of canceled flights. ABC's Victor Okendo says Spirit Airlines has canceled hundreds of flights.
The airline canceling more than 313 flights due to weather and operational challenges. Meanwhile, American Airlines canceling even more flights. 530 on Monday, but they say weather is to blame.
The cancellations have come as more Americans are flying, and the TSA says it screened more than 2 million people Sunday. That's the highest since the start of the pandemic.
Warning. Olympics. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
And in case you missed Jane and I talking about it, Simone Biles has won bronze for the U.S. in the Olympic balance beam final in Tokyo. She made history as it's her 7th Olympic medal, which ties her with Shannon Miller. And the U.S. women's soccer team won't have their starting goalkeeper for the bronze medal game. Alyssa Nair banged up her knee yesterday in the loss to Canada in the semifinals. The U.S. will play Australia for bronze on Thursday. One more time, let's take a look at that 10.
Yeah, well put. If you just on this point, boy, big delays continue. East and West 10 going through Ontario. Now, we're about to have some really good news here. They're starting to move stuff right now, but eastbound 10 before Mountain, it's all lanes, but for more than an hour. The 2 right lanes were open just a little while ago, and they're starting to move stuff right now. So I believe we're going to have the full clearing on this in just a little bit. But the backup is still solid now on the eastbound 10 through Town Avenue. That's a good couple of 2-3 miles, and it's quite solid. Now westbound, same location. We had lanes blocked here for a while, but all lanes have been reopened. Unfortunately, the West 10 with morning drive volume is still a crawl coming in from Vineyard. For freeway alternatives, and they're still good, the 210 or the 60 in between the I-15 and 57 is the way to go. And by the way, if you're local here, you can enter the East End or get back on maybe at Mountain or Euclid and be past all the delays and be on your way. Arrow Highway's got a little busy. I'll be keeping my eye on that, but it's still a pretty good way to go. Now, leaving East LA Interchange, we're just getting word now of a problem south side of Indiana. That's about the halfway point down to 710, so more on that coming up. And we're starting to fly west now, so don't go away. Injured in an accident, visit Superwoman, superlawyer.com. Jump on KFI in the sky.
Southern California is termite central. Why? Well, like you, they love the weather, they love the soil, and of course the houses are made out of wood. So you put all that together and you've got termites that love us. And they'll happily eat your house. So let me suggest protecting your house with a free home inspection from Pacific Coast Termites. Even if you don't know if you have termites, it's worthwhile. And if you do, they come and treat. They do it without tenting, double bag your food, pet sitting. You can even be home when they deal with those termites. Mention KFI, 10% off termite treatments, 2-year guarantee on all of their work. Call 800-PACIFIC, 800-PACIFIC. That's PacificCoastTermite.com. Call 800-PACIFIC.
Pacific Coast Termite kills termites
The clean, friendly way.
Your KFI Financial Report is brought to you by Bay Alarm. The Dow is now down 58, S&P down 6, NASDAQ is down 47. Gold comes in at $18.17 an ounce, and oil is $69.31 a barrel.
The KFI Money Report is brought to you by Bay Alarm, now offering virtual security consultations using your mobile phone. Visit bayalarm.com to get protected today.
And the average price of gas in California today is $4.38 a gallon. Sunny and hot today with temperatures again in the upper 70s to the lower 80s at the beaches, upper 80s, lower 90s for Orange County and the metro areas, and we'll be in the upper 90s and low 100s for the valleys in the IE, and we do have a heat advisory in effect for much of Southern California today. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee.
KFI AM 640. Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. When I'm out of town, I listen on the app. And the app actually is a better signal for the air. Jane Wells filling in for Handel here. Later in the show, Jennifer, I'm going to ask a very personal question. And Morgan, how old is your oldest underwear that you still have?
Do I have to answer?
Yeah, I thought you do. If I have to answer, you do. Because, I didn't think about it till I saw this story. But right now we're going to talk about it. If you notice that you're paying more for stuff at the store, you're right. Demand has been so high, and even though the Fed says inflation is transitory, not everybody is so sure. I mean, we've got problems that are maybe really only temporary, like the computer chip shortage or the supply chain snafus that are still really ravaging ports all around the world because during the pandemic, America bought everything the rest of the world was selling, and that kind of screwed up shipping because everything was coming here and they would hurry up and turn around and go back empty rather than pick up our exports, corn, soybeans, pork. They would leave it kind of at the port saying, you know what, we'll get you later. And that was kind of really has screwed things up, and it's still not fully working itself out yet. But it will. But in the meantime, prices are going up. So are wages. So are costs for everything if you are a company that makes anything or has any kind of service, because wages are going up as well. And yet margins are still doing very well. So they are passing along the costs to you. CNBC is reporting that the S&P 500's operating margins are currently 13%, and that is 5 percentage points above the normal average. So in other words, you are paying more and they're making more. So even as they pay employees a little bit more and they're paying more for goods and transportation costs more because of the diesel, they're passing those costs along to you. In fact, they are saying that the net rising index for profit margins, whatever that is, has reached its highest reading on record. Hasbro, for example, here's some companies who are doing things. Hasbro's CEO according to CNBC, said that the demand will stay high even though the company is hiking prices. Other companies raising prices to kind of keep their margins strong: Stanley Black & Decker, Polaris, Corning, General Mills, McCormick, ConAgra, Chipotle. Chipotle is one of those that's raising its wages and passing it along to you, and it's starting to, you're still buying your burritos. Southwest Airlines is now raising wages, and it says it estimates it's going to add up to $10 million of additional salary, wages, and benefits in the third quarter, and $15 million in the fourth quarter. Union Pacific says its elevated cost per employee is up 13%. Wages are going up. They're not necessarily going up enough to get people to come back to work, because there's still a record 9.2 million job openings. And one reason employers are hesitant to raise wages too much, according to Axios, is because once they come up, it's hard to bring them back down. And if inflation really is transitory, they don't want to be stuck with higher wages for all their employees as everything starts to go back down again, if in fact it does. I'm not sure it's actually going to do that. But most of the labor shortages are occurring in industries where profit margins are already thin, like leisure and hospitality. Tyler Whitman, the board operator, you spent years in the restaurant industry, right?
I have spent years, and I continue to spend years in the restaurant industry.
And how hard is it well, why are you still in it? How hard is it I mean, people are not coming back. I feel so bad for these poor waiters and waitresses who are being treated terribly, by the way, and they're short-staffed, even as they've added more tables, because you can eat inside and they're still keeping their outside tables.
It's very challenging. I mean, it's tough. You show up to work and you're told so-and-so's not coming in, figure it out. It happens all the time, and it's happened more frequently lately, because what's happening is all of the curmudgeons are crawling out of their caves, having been stuck inside from the pandemic, and everyone's kind of forgotten how to behave appropriately in the restaurant, both around each other and towards the people taking care of them. So yeah.
Can you share with me the worst example you've seen of bad behavior in the pandemic or post-pandemic?
Oh man. If I had to highlight one, I would say that there have been a couple instances of people who have been unwilling to accept the mask mandates. So you have people who come in and they'll walk up to the bar, and now the county has enabled people to get their drinks to go. So we can put their drinks in plastic cups while they wait outside. The restaurant I work at sometimes runs a 1 to 2 hour plus wait. So the fact that they can come up to the bar, get their drink in a plastic cup, and go stand outside and essentially pregame before their meal. What you'll have people come up to the bar without their mask on, and first and foremost, we have to advise them to wear a mask. And a couple times already, we've experienced people who are inside. Well, yeah, who have pre-gamed and continue to pre-game and don't have a mask on and are unwilling to accept the idea of needing to wear a mask when they come into the restaurant.
Does the manager come in? I mean, does it become kind of a scene? Are you able to sort of diffuse the situation, or,
Ultimately, the situation does get diffused, whether it's the guests being requested to leave or just straight up accommodating them. But at some point, you do have to put your foot down. But yeah, I mean, back to what we're talking about here. People are just unfriendly now, and it's very difficult when you're someone trying to take care of someone and give them the experience that they're used to having and being very well taken care of. It's tough to have that interaction be one-sided.
Can I chime in real quick?
Oh, please, Morgan.
I've also been in the restaurant industry for a bit, still am. Since COVID hit and we have tables, outdoor dining and all that, I've had more people leave without paying for their meal than ever before.
Dine and dash.
Yeah, because it's so easy. You're sitting outside, and if we're busy, we only have one server. I might not be able to make it to you, in time. So then I've had, I think 3 people.
Oh, my God. Has your pay gone up, and how is tipping?
Absolutely not. Pay has not gone up. Tipping is worse.
Oh, come on, America. Come on, we can do better than this. I went, I do this thing in addition to CNBC. I have a bulletin, janewells.bulletin.com, which is part of a Facebook strategy for independent journalists where I get to do some in-depth reporting. And one of the stories I'm working on is why people are not coming back to work. And we're going to talk about that more later in the show as well. And I went to a job fair in Hemi Valley, which was the first outdoor job fair in the region since the pandemic, and they had 70 companies there. Any kind of company you could think of was there. They had a couple hundred people who were saying, hey, I want to get a jump on things before the extra unemployment runs out September 4th, or I'm looking for a better job with maybe more money and more flexibility, because a lot of women have not gone back to work because they're taking care of their kids at home and they don't want to give that up. But what I found interesting was how many employers there told me that people are setting up interviews and then ghosting. So people, the worker bees of the world, have more choices now and have learned skills over the last 18 months and are being choosier in what they want to do, and they're just not showing up for some job interviews. And for the two of you, look, Tyler, this is a perfect example. This is a new job for you that you got post-pandemic, a new industry you're getting into, and you're doing a fabulous job. Morgan, you're doing about 25 different things, but I assume you've learned new skills, and you're certainly moving up here over the last 18 months. I mean, do you feel you're in a better position? I don't know if I should, but okay, both of you. Do you feel you're in a better position, a choosier position than you were before the pandemic? Morgan, you first.
A choosier position?
Like you could choose. If you wanted to.
No, because I'm still trying to recover from all the money I lost from the pandemic. So I'm still behind.
It's because of all your gigs.
Yeah, so I can't really be choosy right now. Yeah.
Tyler?
So I'm working 2 jobs because my wife is currently going through nursing school. So as far as being able to be choosy currently, I would say no. But yes, I think ultimately long term, the result of so many people having been furloughed, so many jobs having disappeared, and some of those jobs now returning and needing people to fill those roles, I would definitely agree that we are in a position where we can be more choosy, and we have had these opportunities to get more experience, whereas prior to all of this happening, it might not have been available to us. Ultimately, I would agree, yes, we are definitely in a much better position as far as what we can choose to do.
And certainly when we come back, people want flexibility in whether or not to come back to the office, especially with the Delta variant, and companies are trying to figure out what to do next. We'll have that. Jane Wells filling in for Handle, KFI AM 640. Here's Jen with the news.
The nation has reached another milestone in the fight against COVID-19. 70% of adults now have at least one vaccine shot. Disneyland's expected to announce a new membership program today. It's called the Magic Key Program, and it looks like it will replace the annual passports that ended during the pandemic after 40 years. And more fallout for rapper DaBaby. He's been dropped from next month's Governor's Ball Music Festival in New York. This comes after he was cut from Sunday's Lollapalooza lineup in Chicago. It's because of homophobic comments he made while performing at another music festival in Miami. We'll take a look at your drive on the 5 with the KFI in the Sky next.
At Sit and Sleep, we know the people are experts at all kinds of things, except one, how to shop for the right mattress.
Right, Dad. Shopping for a mattress isn't something you do every day or even every 8 years.
That's why Sit and Sleep has mattress experts with an average of 10 years experience and bed match technology that scientifically recommends just the right mattress for you.
So for expert advice, trust your sleep to Sit and Sleep.
You know, Drew, I'm an expert at other things.
Like what?
Screaming free!
Wondering if you're paying too much for auto insurance? It's easy to find out at AAA.com/insurance. You could save an average of $537. So stop wondering, start saving. Visit AAA.com/insurance for your free quote.
SoCal weather from KFI. Sunny today with highs upper 70s to the low 100s. This report is brought to you by the Auto Club of Southern California. Let's check out your drive on the 5.
All right, a little bit of the pop. This is okay. Getting better if you were with us last time around here, leaving the East LA interchange. You mentioned the problem with South 5 Indiana that we were getting word of. It's pretty much clearing. It's going to be a little slow coming out the East LA interchange down towards the 710 and south down to about Washington, but really not too bad. Had a massive problem, another one I should say, in Burbank on the North 5 up around Glen Oaks, a little bit north of the airport itself. overturn there, has a whole bunch of lanes blocked. There was 3 right at last count, and a solid backup Burbank Boulevard. Now, I won't vouch for the surface streets yet until we get an eye on them, but Lead Oaks might be good. I'm not sure about San Fernando Road. But definitely the northbound 170 from the 134 right up to the merge with that North 5, it's wide open. It could be the way to go. And the Chrysler, we've been over in Ontario now for the past hour and a half. Eastbound Tenement Mountain, we had the 2 right open when we left. We're still across from Town Avenue. Westbound, all lanes have been open for a while, but real slow coming away from Vineyard. Injured in an accident, visit superwomansuperlawyer.com. Jeff Law, KFI in the sky.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Connect has amazing prices for everything on your back-to-school list. Right now, Crayola 12-count colored pencils, 10 plus 2 Crayola marker bonus packs, and Staples 2-pack scissors are just 97 cents each. Offer ends 9/18, limit 30 on Crayola, limit 6 on scissors. Staples.
I remember when we bought our first house, the process wasn't all that difficult. You know, you just apply for your loan and you get approved, and okay, there you go. Then when we tried to sell our house, oh, did I get smacked upside the head. I figured all you had to do was call the realtor and maybe patch a few nail holes or something like that. Oh, was I wrong. We were doing landscaping. We were repairing door frames. All this work that was way more than I ever thought about. I didn't know there was a company out there that would have saved us from having to do all those repairs ourselves if we had just logged on to opendoor.com. See, Opendoor takes away all the rough parts of selling your home. You're not going to have to do those repairs yourself. You won't have to do all the prep work. You won't have to deal with a bunch of intrusive showings. This is the new way to sell your home. So log on to opendoor.com. All you have to do is answer a few really, really simple questions about your house. Then what they'll do is take your information, compare it to other houses in your neighborhood, and come up with a real competitive offer for your home. And if you're like me, it's going to be way more than you expect it's going to be. So don't put yourself through all that stress that we did. Hear my advice. Sell your home the new-fashioned way at opendoor.com. Offer eligibility varies. Opendoor is represented by Opendoor Brokerage, Inc., license number 020-61130 in California, and Opendoor Brokerage, LLC in its other markets. Sell your home the new-fashioned way at opendoor.com/myoffer.
Swan dive or cannonball, backyard or beach. Meet Hampton Water, the world's favorite rosé. Born in France, raised in the Hamptons, ready to be enjoyed anywhere, no matter what the occasion. Hampton Water. Make a splash. Rosé responsibly.
Hey, SoCal. Going out for a drink? I'm attorney Darren Kapinoki of 1-800-NO-CUFFS. Better have your seatbelt on, your front license plate attached, and your registration handy. Don't give them a reason. 1-800-NO-CUFFS. Because no one looks good in handcuffs, unless you're into that sort of thing. 1-800-NO-CUFFS.
Hi, it's Dr. Wendy Walsh. You probably heard the term quarantine 15, but the actual average American gained 29 pounds. If your weight got out of control, it's time to call West Medical and experience the Da Vinci X. This ultra-minimally invasive robotic surgical system gives hyper-precision to weight loss surgery and a faster recovery, and it's covered by most PPO insurance. Set up a free same-day phone consult today. Call 1-800-WEST-MED or visit westmedical.com.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
Results will vary depending on procedure selected and adherence to the program. From immigration to climate change, California has a bigger impact on the issues facing the United States than any other state. Subscribe to the Los Angeles Times and gain perspective on all sides of the story. Go to latimes.com/next. Los Angeles Times, the state of what's next.
Still loving those Solar Max panels, yeah?
I just wish I went Solar Max sooner. I'd be saving even more money.
Right now, you can get the Tesla 420 panels and Powerwalls for $79.96 per month at zero down.
Dial pound 250 on your cell and say Solar Max, or go to solarmaxtech.com. Monthly payment available on approved credits. You guess will be number 97204.
Attention savvy investors. Are you looking to hedge against inflation and receive steady monthly cash flow? How about the safety and security of a real estate investment without the hassles of being a landlord? Maybe you should cash out of some stock market risk and volatility and take some money off the table. Instead, receive 10% annualized monthly payouts with bonuses targeted to 21%. NRIA is an industry-leading real estate development firm in its 15th year constructing strategically located, lower-risk, high-demand properties in unique neighborhoods based on supply-demand imbalance. Call 800-800-1414 to start your due diligence. A great fit for safety-oriented investors desiring monthly cash flow and diversification into carefully curated real estate. Learn more about the NRIA Real Estate Development Fund at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
Southern California Edison has helpful info for emergency preparedness. Since the kids are older, we need to update our family plan again.
You're right. And let's review it with them so they know what to do.
They should know our evacuation plan, meeting place.
What to do in a power outage and where the safety kit is.
Good thinking. We can write down important phone numbers and put them in the kit.
You think of everything.
No, I just went to sce.com/beprepared. A little preparation goes a long way.
Hey, Gary, how are things?
Things are great, but I crushed my mortgage payment with owning without even leaving my couch. I got a no closing cost refi at a great low rate, and owning did it all in less than 3 weeks. It was easy, no muss, no fuss.
Be like Gary. Call Owning at 855-5-OWNING and crush your mortgage payment with today's 30-year fixed refi at 2.625% rated APR with no closing costs. None. Zero. Even if you've refinanced recently, call 855-5-OWNING and let us crush your monthly payment even more. That's 855-5-OWNING or log on to owning.com.
NMLS 2611, licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, subject to credit approval. Call 833-852-6464 for terms and conditions.
You can crush it too with a 30-year fixed 2.625% rate in APR with absolutely no closing costs.
Prices are out of control. There was a neighborhood restaurant that we used to go to, and a pasta dish was like $14, $15, right? The same dish is now $28. I don't pay $28 for pasta unless someone else is making it. I just don't. 28!
John and Ken, Al, weekdays at 2.
Food inflation
On KFI.
That's what we were just talking about. Everything's more expensive. Jane Wells filling in for Bill Handel, KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Here's something from Bloomberg I didn't expect. There is a study which suggests living in the big city is better, makes you less depressed and anxious than living out in the suburbs or further out. That because you're forced into more social interactions living in the big city, even if they are callous ones, it's healthier for you. This is according to a publication in the National Academy of Sciences. I don't know, but I guess there's been a lot of social isolation over the last year, and so maybe if you stayed in the city, of course everybody moved out, and you didn't get COVID, you were happier because you were forced to eventually go outside once in a while and see someone else. I don't know. But we are also now on edge because some of us have to go back to the office, although that's all thrown up in the air now. Where I work, I don't know when everybody has. I haven't been in there since March of 2020, so I don't know when I'm ever going to my desk again. I don't have to. I don't care. I just go meet a camera crew wherever. But there's a story in the Wall Street Journal on how companies thought they might have a plan, and now they're not sure what the plan is going to be. Do you have to wear a mask? Do you have to be vaccinated? And the courts so far are saying that companies can force you to be vaccinated if you're going to come back into the office. If you're doing sales, though, according to this Wall Street Journal article, this guy does phone sales all day. He said, I can't talk on the phone all day, 8 hours a day with a mask on. And he said, I'm probably just going to wear the mask in the elevator. Yeah, we're supposed to wear the mask here, out and about. They, I think, we're going to make me wear a mask in this studio in front of this microphone unless I have...
谢谢。